Amoka was born into a humble family in Nsukka, a small town in southeastern Nigeria. Her parents were hardworking farmers who had invested everything in her education, hoping she would bring honor to their family. But Amoka wanted more. She dreamed of wealth, luxury, and status. At the University of Enugu, Amoka's dreams seemed further away as she saw wealthy girls flaunting their designer handbags, sleek cars, and expensive jewelry. Her envy grew, and she vowed to rise above her circumstances, no matter the cost. One fateful evening, as Amoka shopped for groceries in a bustling market, she overheard two women whispering about Okpoko, a powerful herbalist who could make anyone wealthy. Her curiosity piqued. Amoka approached the women. "Tell me more about this herbalist," she said, her voice tinged with desperation. The older woman frowned. "Child, stay away. His charms come with a heavy price." But Amoka was resolute. She begged for directions and, against their warnings, set out to find Okpoko. After a treacherous journey through dense forest, Amoka arrived at Okpoko's shrine. The air was thick with incense, and the walls were adorned with strange symbols. Okpoko sat cross-legged, his piercing gaze meeting hers. "Why are you here?" he asked. "I want wealth," Amoka said boldly. Okpoko studied her for a moment before speaking. "I can give you what you desire, but it comes with conditions. You must never fall in love, and you must not share your wealth with your family. Break these rules, and the charm will turn on you." Amoka nodded eagerly. "I agree." Okpoko handed her a golden anklet, its intricate designs glowing faintly. "Wear this when you want to attract wealth. But remember my warning." Amoka's life began to change the moment she wore the anklet. It was the night of a grand campus party, where students mingled, danced, and flaunted their best outfits. Amoka walked in wearing a simple dress, but with the anklet hidden under the hem. Yet, she shone brighter than anyone else in the room. As she moved through the crowd, heads turned. A wealthy businessman named Chief Obiora, known for sponsoring young women in exchange for their companionship, was drawn to her immediately. He approached her with charm and confidence. "Hello, beautiful," he said, handing her his business card. "Call me tomorrow." The next day, Amoka met Chief Obiora, and her life took a sharp turn. He lavished her with gifts, a new phone, designer handbags, and a wad of cash to take care of herself. Over time, he gave her access to his credit card, funded her travels, and even paid for her luxurious off-campus apartment. Soon, other wealthy men followed. Politicians, oil magnates, and entrepreneurs, all enchanted by Amoka, competed for her attention. They showered her with gifts, cars, jewelry, and vacations to Dubai and Paris. She never had to ask, they simply gave. Her transformation. Amoka abandoned her humble beginnings. Her modest wardrobe was replaced with designer dresses. She frequented five-star restaurants, rubbed shoulders with the elite, and was invited to exclusive events. On campus, she was unrecognizable, a queen among her peers. Family's reaction. Her parents were confused by her sudden wealth. When they asked questions, she evaded them, saying she had business sponsors. Despite their struggles, Amoka never sent money home, fearing it would break Okpoko's rule. Her inner conflict. Despite her newfound wealth, Amoka felt an emptiness growing inside her. The men who adored her were shallow, driven by her beauty and the charm of the anklet. They treated her like a trophy, not a person. Late at night, in her luxurious apartment, she often stared at herself in the mirror, wondering if she had made the right choice. One day, Amoka met Chike, a kind and humble lecturer at her university. Unlike the others, Chike wasn't interested in her wealth or beauty. He admired her intelligence and ambition. Slowly, Amoka found herself drawn to him. She tried to resist, remembering Okpoko's warning, but her feelings grew stronger. Against her better judgment, she started a relationship with Chike. He proposed marriage, and she accepted, dreaming of a life filled with love and happiness. Amoka's wedding was a grand affair, with the who's who of society in attendance. As she danced with Chike, the anklet began to tighten painfully around her ankle. She ignored it, hoping it was nothing. After the wedding, Amoka decided to share her wealth with her struggling parents. She built them a new house, paid off their debts, and even set up a business for her younger brother. But the more she gave, the more the anklet tightened. It glowed ominously, and Amoka started experiencing strange dreams of Okpoko's warning. Amoka's wedding day was the pinnacle of her life. She had met Chike, a humble lecturer, months earlier. Unlike the wealthy men she was used to, Chike was different. He didn't care about her possessions or status. He loved her for who she was, or who he thought she was. Chike proposed in the most unassuming way, on campus, with a simple ring and an honest smile. "I don't have much, but I promise to love you with all my heart," he said. Amoka, blinded by her feelings, said yes, forgetting Okpoko's warning. The wedding. The wedding was a grand affair. Amoka spared no expense, using the wealth she had accumulated over the years. The venue was decorated with roses and gold accents, and the guest list included high-profile figures. Her parents, unaware of her dealings, were overjoyed, proud of their daughter's success. As Amoka danced with Chike during the reception, she felt a sharp pain in her ankle. She looked down and saw the anklet glowing faintly. It felt tighter than before, but she ignored it, thinking it was just her imagination. Helping her family. After the wedding, Amoka decided it was, but with every act of generosity, the anklet grew tighter and tighter. At night, Amoka began to have nightmares. She saw Okpoko's face, his voice echoing, "You broke the sacred rules. Now you must pay." The ominous signs. As the days passed, Amoka noticed strange things. Her reflection in the mirror seemed different, her face looked older, her eyes less vibrant. The anklet, once beautiful and glowing, now felt cold and heavy. Chike began to notice her distress. "Amoka, are you okay?" he asked one night. She shook her head and forced a smile, but deep down, she knew something was terribly wrong. The turning point. At her wedding reception, as she danced with Chike, the anklet glowed brighter than ever before. Suddenly, she felt an excruciating pain shoot through her leg. She screamed and collapsed to the floor. The room fell silent as guests rushed to her side. But before their eyes, Amoka began to transform. Her smooth, youthful skin wrinkled, her hair turned gray, and her once beautiful face aged decades in seconds. Guests gasped in horror. Chike held her, confused and terrified. "Amoka, what's happening to you?" But she couldn't answer. She knew the curse had come for her. Amoka knew she could no longer stay in the city. Her life of luxury was over. With no one left to turn to, she returned to her village. Her parents were horrified at her appearance but welcomed her back with open arms. Her father asked her again, "Amoka, what happened to you?" This time, she told them everything, the charm, the wealth, and the curse. Her mother wept, holding her daughter close. "Why didn't you tell us, my child? We would have loved you no matter what." Amoka spent the rest of her days living humbly in the village. She became a storyteller, sharing her cautionary tale with young women who dreamed of wealth and status. Sitting under the old Iroko tree in the village square, she would gather the youth and begin her story. Once, there was a girl who wanted everything. Her story became a lesson passed down through generations, a reminder that greed and shortcuts always come with a price.